What's up, everybody? Hello, welcome in. It's Haley and Ryan.
What's up, guys?
What's
How
up?
are you? Okay.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
So, what is trending?
What's trending San Diego?
We got some good stuff happening right now. I think our listings are up 2% from last week.
I think it was 3,383 was the number of active listings.
3,383 active listings. I mean, you guys. That's looking good. Yeah. We're trending in the right way.
Remember like 1,700, mid-1,700?
No, I have PTSD from that. But we are seeing some awesome things happening. There is some light at the end of the tunnel. Buyers, I think, have really acclimated to kind of what's going on with the rates. We will never see 2.5% again.
I don't know. I'd be surprised in my lifetime if we see it, but you never know. I mean, nothing would surprise me at this point.
You know what? Aliens could land down right here in Mission Valley on Friars, and I'd be like, oh, they're here.
I should have expected that.
I should have expected that. But, I think people are starting to get a little more acclimated. There is movement going on. We're seeing escrows kind of start to take a little bit longer of time periods, like normal escrow periods, like 30, 45-day escrows.
Unheard of.
It's crazy. We're not like slamming it down throats to get them done, like 7-day closes. We've had day of closes.
And I mean, what's trending San Diego, we're seeing a lot more response from our outreach. We're seeing a lot more influx of open escrows, buyer activity, seller activity, overall encouraging stuff. Even with these interest rate kind of environment being higher, I think there is an acclimation and there is a push of seasonality of people have been tethered to their low interest rate situation on their homes for quite a while now. So some life changes are taking shape that are forcing the issue in terms of moving, whether it's out of state for a job opportunity, PCSing, a baby on the way, maybe a marriage being dissolved, all kinds of different
business dissolved,
all kinds of things that are happening that are causing the housing change based on the life change that they're going through is kind of what we're noticing as a trend in our market.
Well, I'm noticing too, even when I'm walking my dog, I live over on Sunset Cliffs and I walk and there's tons of more opportunities popping up over there. I'm seeing listings left and right almost. And I'm like, whoa, things are happening. Like there is movement. I mean, for a while, I walk my dog every day and I'd be like, man, there's nothing over here for people.
Crickets.
Yeah. And now I'm seeing sign pop up. And so there's meaning that people are really starting to start their changes. So get into the movement.
I think so. And as we get further into spring and into summer, people move. This is the season that people move and change homes. And speaking of, we're a little late to the trend, but there is a trend of like pickleball. I think that somebody found pickleball over here recently.
Yes, I'm late to the party, guys. Way late. But if you want to get your butt kicked, hit me up. I would love to play.
She's good, too. She's like first time out, won the championship. I got the ring already.
Oh yeah,
Tom Brady, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
But, that kind of leads us into what we were talking about prior to the video. It might have been on a video that we didn't hit record on.
Or the green room,
So one thing that led into is we were talking about what must people be doing right now to get these active listings going, to get more active in the market. And it's more outreach. It's more conversations. It's doing things kind of outside of the normality of just your normal agent happy hour or something. Like join a thing that you don't know, like that you love to do, but it might be different for you. So like, I know there's tons of pickleball clubs. I mean, I see them playing every day at the Point Loma Tennis Club. And I'm like, I'm about to be there. I mean, I don't know what all these people do because it's like 11 o'clock in the day. And I'm like, there is a lot of people out here playing pickleball.
It's like a drug. People love that. But no, to your point, if you haven't been one to go to happy hours or social events very frequently, and I get it, I have 4 kids, the pools at home are strong with school and sports, etc. However, maybe mix one in, one a month, 2 a month, but don't go to where all the agents are. Go to where, like on Meetup, you can find pickleball clubs that meet and have small tournaments. Golf, crocheting, spearfishing, believe it or not, is on Meetup. Anything that is actually can fit into something you're into. Bingo tournaments. I mean, shuffleboard. I don't know. Get creative. But if you're going to do a social event and a happy hour, make sure that there's buyers and sellers there, not a bunch of title people, lenders, and agents, right?
Right. Well, and I think it's good. Like we talk about this all the time. We go to happy hours because that's where a lot of our clients are. So it's good for agents to go to connect because you'll see them on an offer and you're like, oh, I connected so well with them. I'd love to work with them. I'll accept the offer. It's good to have those kind of relationships.
Sure.
But on the flip side of that, there's no buyers or sellers there.
There's no
opportunities for new business. But the more you get out there and the more conversations you have with people, regardless of it being real estate conversations or not, building new relationships, that's new opportunities. I mean, there's gonna at some point be a real estate question that's gonna come up when they ask you, oh, what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm a realtor. Guess what their response is probably going to be? Oh my gosh, what's going on in the market right now?
Yeah.
It's like everybody hears about the market.
People love to talk about real estate and their home and why it's special and what the value might be. And all, that conversation just takes on a whole new life of its own. You just have to put yourself in the position. I like the meetups for attorneys. The attorneys have happy hours all over where it's just probate attorneys, divorce attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, meeting and socializing to pass each other referrals. You could be there, the one agent, maybe two, that's there in a room full of attorneys that could send you listings. That's massive.
Oh, that's huge leverage. And I know the sdbarassociation.org, they have all of their meetups that they do once a month on there. So if you wanted to get real creative and kind of outside of the box, I would do full blue ocean strategy where nobody is your competitor going there, which was probably in a room full of attorneys. And there you go. That's on sdbar.org, as you can go and find all of their happy hours.
So because, I mean, right now it's difficult. It's a headwind in real estate in San Diego, which means it's tough. It's a grind. It's tough sledding. So what do? It's always a good idea to go back and analyze your last 10, 20 listings and say, where did these come from? From sphere of influence, from mailers, from church, from surf buddies. Where did they come from? And then notice a trend in there, identify the sources of what brought you those pieces of business, and make sure you're evident and easy to find and top of mind in those channels, right? But then widen your funnel a little bit and maybe start mixing in a social networking event with other businesses or potential sellers and buyers. Maybe do some kind of an outreach platform like a video. If you haven't done a lot of videos and reels and post it on social media, take that opportunity to put your message out there for your people to hear it.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. I mean, obviously we're big fans of video and big fans of social media, but there's so much opportunity in there because you do one video and you get 200 people that view it or even 50 people that view it. That's 50 follow-up messages that you could send to those people of, hey, what'd you like about my video? Or do you have any questions regarding the video? Or what intrigued you when you came to watch the video? Like, you can get creative with your questions and spark up conversations, and you never know who's been watching your video that you just DM and they're like, actually, yeah, I've been following you and we're thinking about selling our home because we want to move to Texas. So like, I mean, yeah, let's talk. And you never know who's doing that. But we don't know if we don't engage on those conversations. And we could be better about that too. So sorry if you viewed our video and we don't respond. Because we could be a lot better at that too.
Yeah, absolutely. You can DM us too. But one cool thing I heard was if you have 800 views, and you may not get all the metrics from just views, but you get likes and shares and comments. But if you get 800 views, think of a room of 800 people.
Ooh.
That's powerful, right?
Huge.
That's a pretty big room, right? 50 people in a room is a sizable networking event. Right? So don't discount like when you're not getting the views or the metrics that you think you should be getting, because we hear it time and time again that agents will have somebody do a come list me call off of videos and they haven't liked or commented on any of their videos, but they watched every single one. And then when the time came to sell or buy an investment property or inquire with a need on real estate stuff, then they just call. Right? So you're planting seeds, And honestly, the one last plea to do video is just for your sphere of influence, past clients, friends, and family, just to stay relevant and in their face and top of mind. If that's enough reason, just right there, for the people that already know, like, and trust you, for you to stay top of mind with them is a compelling reason to do video. But imagine all the other people you could reach.
Right.
It's massive leverage.
Well, and to that point exactly, I think us in the real estate industry, all we do is really follow other realtors, lenders, other people in the industry. So we see all of the videos, right? And we think, man, everybody must be doing these videos. Everybody must be seeing them. But your sphere and the people that follow you and the people that care about you, they're probably not following 1,000 other realtors or lenders or anybody in the real estate space. You may be one of 2, one of 3 that they actually follow and see and engage with. So keep that in mind when you're doing these videos. you are probably the one narrative that the people that are following you want to hear, and you're leaving it up to them to create their own narrative or to have somebody else create that narrative.
It's a little risky, right? Then one day you're driving down Elm Avenue and there's a sign in your homie's yard and it's not your sign.
Oh, that's not, yeah.
It hurts me.
Yeah, and we have tons of ways and ideas. We'd love to help combat that. But I think first and foremost, with this kind of change that's going on in the market, how are you staying in front of it? What's your process like? We just did videos on what is your process, getting married to the process, and knowing right now, it's not the time where you make 10 phone calls and you get 2 listings, or you post your cheeseburger on social media and somebody's like, oh, that looks great, I actually need to sell my home. We're not in that time, but we need to be in the time of more outreach, more connections, more conversations, because no AI or any video or digital thing will replace the in-person. So the more videos you do, the more they get to know you, and then you meet them in person and they're like, man, I already know you. Like, you're the same. Like, I know who you are.
I've been watching you. And yeah, I mean, when she says drill down on process, I mean, are the phones your thing? Is door knocking your thing? Are open houses your jam? What is your jam? And then really drilling down and focusing on activities. Because in action, we can have reaction. We have cause, we get effect. But with theory and with thinking about getting ready to maybe prepare for, or thinking about it, we never get into action. We can't wallow in theory. We've got to do. So start with the things that you know work for you. Start with the things that have worked in the past, and then maybe widen the funnel to other activities. Add another pillar, right? I've got cold calling, I've got my mailers to my farm, and I have my sphere of influence that I do 3 events a year and I get business from that. Cool. What's your 4th pillar? What? Because we have to extend a little bit right now, because the pie has shrunk in terms of available market opportunities. So you've got to do more to get the same income as before. You've got to do even more to increase income and opportunity. That's the way we view it. So adding a pillar or ramping up the ones that are working are things to consider. But overarching thought on that is stay in the action. Really pay attention to the numbers of calls, emails, and outreach that you're doing, and hours spent in lead generation. And the results will take care of themselves. So many of us look at the scoreboard and it's not super encouraging right now. It's not, nobody's killing it. Okay. We're all just getting by and grinding it out, frankly. And so if that's the case, then we have to be diligent to our numbers so that we can stay consistent. And when the balloon gets bigger and we have a bigger piece of the balloon, then the revenue will come at that time. But right now, I mean, what we've been preaching from anybody who will listen is look at your activities and stay diligent on the activities. The results will come.
I think that's so important, because there's so many different types of activities that we can be doing too, to really have those more conversations, it's about prospecting and processes, right? Because we have to continue to prospect, even if it's somebody in your sphere that you're having a conversation with, that they're going to send you maybe a referral. That's prospecting. Like, you're still prospecting. So I think people have this jaded kind of conception of, oh, prospecting must be cold calls. Yeah. It must be doing things I don't want to do. Because
here's a source that very few people talk about, but who has my seller before I do? There's a whole timetable where they're thinking about prepping the house, painting, maybe some renovation, maybe some furniture purchases. And there's some people that are going to engage with your seller before they pick up the phone to list their house with somebody. You might want to know some of those stops along the way and swim upstream and start cultivating relationships with, I don't know, a bankruptcy attorney, divorce attorney, probate attorney, renovation companies, painters,
roofing companies, solar people.
Yeah, landscape firms. You don't have to go out and call 20 landscape firms by Tuesday. Okay, what we're saying is, who has my customer before I do, Haley? It would benefit me to know some of them.
The mailman?
Mailman.
If you knew the mailman, they are going to know what homes are vacant. They're going to know what homes need work on it. They're going to know who's probably on the rocks, because they might be seeing some things go through the mail. Like, a mailman could be a really, really good kind of bird dog for you, because they're hitting doors pretty much every day. They're hitting people's mailboxes every day.
I just want to plant the seed on another way to look at this market is, who has my customer before I do? Let me cultivate relationships with them. And then if you made it all the way to close to the end of this video, we have to remind you that come July, the election season will be in full effect. The mailbox will be full of all the candidates. You're going to get phone calls from the AI version of
Donald Trump and Joe Biden and whoever else is running. I don't even know at this point. They will all call you.
Is it bad if I send the president to voicemail? I mean, is that a federal offense?
voicemail.
Oh
So what does that mean though? That means we got to really go heavy right now with those conversations, with getting in front of people. We're doing the same thing. We're ramping up our marketing, ramping up the conversations, because come July 1st, all that messaging is going to be on mute or on deaf ears. It's going to be mute messaging. That's kind of the phrase that I've taken on, is the mute messaging, because people aren't going to really hear about it. But if you're the one person that stayed consistent with these people or in front of them, they're going to come to you when they're in a time of like, dude, there's a lot going on right now with all this political stuff. And like, we might have to sell. Do you think it's a good time to sell with all this going on? Like, you're going to be the person they come to with those questions.
Because you left a lasting impression right now before all that nonsense and chaos it takes over the airwaves and the TV waves and all the things. Then you will have been the last one they heard from. The trust that was engendered in this relationship in this time will be called upon when everything else is just drowned out by all the noise of the election season. So, yeah, it's kind of a sprint to July. I mean, but still just consistency. Consistency is the key, because it's easy to wring your hands and say nothing's working. Real estate's over. I'm done, and I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home. And
there's lawsuits and all this thing going on, but
because we're human beings, flesh and blood, we experience fear, and we want to sometimes pull the covers over and hope it just all goes away. But we know that the right action is to take the next step, to do the next thing, and then once you're in the flow of it, then you start getting some responses, maybe a win, maybe a question, maybe God forbid somebody has a sell. Now that you got momentum, and once you got the momentum, don't let it go.
Do not let the momentum go. Like, it's like the snowball effect, because once it gets going and going and it's going, then you start getting results.
And then you get your swagger back.
Going back to like the DMs. Sure. Going back to the DMs, like engaging with the people that, you know, maybe just like your video or comment it. When you engage with those people and ask them questions, they're going to respond with questions. So you ask them questions about, hey, what intrigued you? What'd you like? Do you have any questions regarding this real estate market right now? You never know who's actually going to respond and be like, yeah, I have a shit ton of questions. Actually,
I'm
can we sit down, because we got 2 houses. We might need to sell one. We're thinking about moving. Like, we got a lot of things going on, and we really don't know what's happening in real estate. So you never can have those conversations if you don't send the DMs.
That's right. I mean, and the last thing that's trending, I promise, is what we're noticing is a lot more probates, divorces, bankruptcies. We have never reviewed more trusts than we have this year. And
I would say the past 8 months, 6 months have been just all trust, bankruptcy documents, getting them from the courts, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have had my readers on. Yes, I need readers now. It's like, wow.
I know the clerk at the bankruptcy courthouse now down there. Like, I know her pretty much. So. Like, I need those certified copies again.
So we can identify that one of the trends is that it's a have to sell market, as we know. I think seasonality and acclimation to high interest rates is loosening the inventory and listings coming on, but largely it's people that have a life change that is dictating a housing change, something for you to think about in terms of your targeting. But that's what we got for you in San Diego real estate right now, and we're excited to work with you to put those processes in place to help you with the schedule that would work, and really commit yourself to the outreach, which I think is the game changer right now. And any questions you have for us, let us know.
Well, I'm finally starting to get excited about the market again.
I know. We're
For a little bit, it's kind of been like, okay, when's this going to happen? When's this going to happen? It's going to happen at some point. And now it feels like we're finally getting a little bit closer to that point. So
we love what we do. So when it feels like a job, it's like, oh man, hey Haley, what are you doing? I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm like, I'm eating lima beans again. Okay, just kidding.
Lima beans and cantaloupe, but it's all good. We will get through it, and we're here for you as a resource. Any questions, anything you want to bounce off us? Would this work? How do I tweak my schedule? What is the best time to make calls? What is the best time to do X? We're here for you.